What's going on, guys? My name is Lou. I am a videographer of over 8 years. I'm currently based in Sarasota. I've monetized the channel under 6 months, meaning getting over 1,000 subscribers, meeting the 4,000 watch hours. But for today, the topic is, should you consult a YouTube expert before publishing your first video on YouTube? If you want to be a creator on YouTube, should you consult an expert? I would say yes, you definitely need to consult a YouTube expert before you publish, before you do anything regarding YouTube. I do understand that you want to be candid. You don't want to overcomplicate things. Generally, like when that happens, you end up not creating the YouTube channel at all. But overall, the way I look at starting YouTube is basically like gambling. You know, sometimes, you see people, sometimes people win. And most of the time, like, nobody wins. The majority of people, like, they just don't win. That's really how I see YouTube. And I feel like most aspiring creators, like, they don't see YouTube like that. They just see all those guys who's making a bunch of money a month, and like, they want to have freedom. They want to create their own thing. They want to be their own boss. Like, that's how they tend to look at it. And they want to jump in, and they see other creators who jumped in, and it worked out for them. But I can guarantee you, like, not to like discourage people, I can guarantee you, like, the majority, like 90% plus of people who started YouTube, like, they never made it past like 1,000 subscribers. Their channel never get monetized, right? So knowing that fact, I think you would agree with me, like, oh, like, it's ideal, it's not even negotiable that you need to consult like a YouTube expert, right? It's like a destination as far as like getting your channel monetized. It's really a destination. Like, do you want to take 5 years getting there, or do you want to take 6 months, right? So like, really, that's how you have to look at it. But I do understand, like, some people may not have the money to invest into a YouTube expert, to help them like push their channel along, to help them like be accountable, to help them getting everything in order before like start publishing. Have a plan, right? Because you don't want to get on YouTube and start gambling, and then it's not working out, and then you end up quitting, right? That's the last thing you want to do, right? So okay, let's say you don't have the money. Let's say you don't have the money to invest into a YouTube expert, right? What you can do is, I mean, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of people like showing you like the basics of like, before you start doing anything, learn about, like, pick a niche, like something like, you can talk about forever, like, whatever it is, like whatever topic that you're into, like, that's one thing. Like, think about picking the niche, and also look into like, does that niche makes money, right? Can you get a lot of revenue from like YouTube AdSense, like from that specific niche? I think that's one mistake that I made too. Like, for that first channel that I created, it was in the entertainment industry, right? And it was doing a lot of like late night questions, like dating questions, that's entertainment. Not a lot of businesses like gonna like try to run ads on those type of videos, because those videos doesn't really like reflect like business owners, right? So, and if you look at other niche like finance, those type of niche tend to make a lot of money because they're all ads friendly, right? So those are things like you wouldn't know if you were just starting out, right? Those are things that I've learned over the years from like being in video production for over 8 years and monetizing the channel like within like 6 months. This is what I mean, like, when I say like, oh, you should at least consult somebody, an expert. Like, those are things like you wouldn't have known, those are things that it would take you probably like a couple of years until you figure them out, and by then you probably quit. That's the honest truth, because like, when something's not working, you've been doing it for so long, like, you might as well go crazy, like just repeating doing the same thing and it's not working, right? I know there are some outliers, people who hop on YouTube and they happen to have the right personality, they're all quirky, and they have all of these things, and it just happened to work out for them. They never needed an expert. Their channel started blowing up like immediately. But realistically, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this channel also. Like, I want to give like young creators who are under 1,000 subscribers, you know, a realistic expectation of like how YouTube work and how you can have like a possibility of being successful on YouTube. Because most people, like, they don't succeed. You know, you probably watching, you're like, oh, this channel like have like little to no subscribers. That's because this channel is brand new. Like, I want to see if I can monetize this channel like within 6 months or less. Just like the other channel that I've done. That's the goal for this channel. The goal for this channel is basically for me to like give you guys a realistic expectation of like how YouTube works, how you can actually have some success on YouTube, you know, and also like the dark side of YouTube that most, you know, YouTubers don't talk about, how difficult it is, how like 90+% of people, like, they never get their channel never get monetized. You know what I mean? So like, I've seen like plenty of people try to get on YouTube, like it never work out. You know, YouTube is so specific, it's so unique. It's very unique from Facebook, from Instagram, from TikTok, because you see like you can be an attractive person, right? You can hop on Instagram, you can hop on TikTok, you start making videos, and then you start getting views, you start getting traction, right? Or you see a lot of attractive girls who, like, you know, they start dancing, you know, and start getting hella views and start making money. But like, YouTube is not like that. YouTube is far from that. Like, you really need to have a personality. You really need to know how to like tell good stories. You really need to know like, okay, like, how do I build a community, you know, with like-minded people? You also have to be very vulnerable and transparent, you know? It's not something like, oh, like, I'm gonna start dancing and then hide, like, just stand there without saying anything, and then like bunch of dudes, like, you know, they just gonna subscribe to me, like, you know, and to help my channel grow. Like, it doesn't work like that, you know? So it's very unique from Instagram. It's very unique from Facebook or TikTok or any other platform. But like, in my opinion, YouTube is like the only platform that pays the most. And also, like, you have a greater chance of building an audience that's actually like faithful, and also who actually like, who cares about you, cares about your message, who actually follow you, not because like you some hotshot, but actually because like you providing value, you have a good personality, you are entertaining, and you actually helping people. Otherwise it's, you really out here gambling. Yeah, guys, so to conclude this video, in my opinion, if you do have the money, I would definitely advise that you consult like a YouTube expert, or at least somebody who have an idea of, like, you know, how to get you from A to B, at least, just so like you don't make so many mistakes. Like, because YouTube is very particular, right? And like, you have to like move based on data. You can't just hop on YouTube and think like you're gonna start catching views. Like, you don't really understand how the analytics work. You don't really understand anything about thumbnails, titles. You don't understand anything about psychology, like, you know, what's gonna get somebody to click onto your video, and also like, what if they do click on your video, like, do you have a nice hook? You know, if you have all these things aligned and you can actually speak well, you have a good message, you are transparent, you know, and vulnerable in your videos, then you have a chance of like actually providing value and actually have people who like who follows you, who subscribe to your channel, and who actually like support you, you know. But yeah, but you know, at the same time, there are some outliers with people who hop on YouTube. I've seen it plenty of times, you know, where, you know, they had no expertise, you know, they just started making videos, you know. I mean, eventually, if you do something long enough, you bound to like gain some traction, you bound to like learn some things, right? But ideally, what I've learned from, like, you know, doing video production, like promotion, like YouTube work, like for other different companies, it's always best to like to make decisions that are informed, right? I mean, I think in general, like with anything, like, you know, you want to be on the informed side before you make any type of decision, right? So yeah, like I said, I'm not creating this channel to discourage people before starting YouTube. I just want to provide some like crucial, like, you know, important information before you start. That way, like, you can have a realistic expectation. Like, when things are not working out, you can still be hopeful. You're like, okay, I am trying my best. I am like following certain guidelines. As long as I stick to that, you know, as long as I keep doing the right thing and I am consistent, and eventually I will start getting some traction, right? That's the reason why I'm creating this channel. Like, I'm also creating this channel for myself, you know, for myself. Because even though I've been in the video production industry for about 8 years now, like, understanding YouTube is a completely different beast, right? So I want to provide you guys, you know, like I mentioned before, like, you know, if let's say I'm at a level 6 as far as like knowledge on how YouTube work, and if you guys are at a level 3, you know, if I can get you to a level 5 or level 4, to me that's value. And I basically want to help like bridge that gap, you know, just to provide you guys with some realistic expectations. That way, like, you don't quit when things are not working, right? And you can keep pushing on until you start seeing success. If you guys, you know, if you guys do want to reach out to me, I'll have my email in the description. You know, if you guys want to reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to help you guys. As far as like what niche you should pick, what type of videos you should make, your thumbnails, your captions, creating a banner, how to edit your videos and things like that, I can definitely help you guys out. You know, I don't want to just be another YouTuber, you know, just speaking, saying that I want to help and actually not help. You know, so if you guys, you know, actually need some help, just reach out to me, shoot me an email. I'll have my personal email in the description, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys. Peace.